The $15 million podcast scam blows up. Grifters Harry and Meghan fired with faked interviews. Spotify sacks slacker royals as Hollywood finally gets wise. Well, it looks like Harry and Meghan have lost out on their nice little $15 million Spotify podcast deal after a very upset executive at the streaming service fired the two of them, and another branded them grifters. The National Enquirer magazine is revealing that Harry and Meghan were really relying on their royal status to make them superstars, but sources say the lazy pair did not even break a sweat to earn their keep. And it looks like their $20 million deal with Netflix is also in danger because of poor performance. This is coming from spies who claim the entitled couple is also fishing for new suckers as they're trying to become influencers for fashion brands. That's a job that doesn't involve much work, where they would only really need to pose for selfies. But at this point, nobody wants to have anything to do with them. So they were fired from Spotify amid claims that a producer did all of the interviewing for Meghan's Archetypes podcast series, and then they edited Meghan's voice in later to imply that she was the one conducting the interviews. Only 12 podcast episodes were produced in 2.5 years. A furious Spotify executive, Bill Simmons, really went after the two of them. He publicly blasted the pampered pair. According to a palace source, being branded con men or scammers is devastating to Harry and Meghan's quest for global domination and Hollywood A-list status. It puts other companies on notice the Sussexes may not be all they claim. Now, just a few days after the news about the Spotify scandal came out, people were saying that Meghan was close to landing a $15 million deal to become the new face of Christian Dior, and then Harry supposedly was going to promote their male fashion line. But the deal was apparently news to the French fashion house. They said they knew nothing of the sort. A Dior insider said there is no truth to the claims. Their team doesn't know how this story came about. Now, this denial also encouraged speculation that Meghan and Harry started the rumor. They were hoping to land themselves a mega deal, according to the palace insider. The insider says Meghan wore Dior to the Queen's funeral, the Platinum Jubilee last year, her son Archie's baptism, and other major events, while Harry chose a Christian Dior suit for his father's coronation in May. Maybe Meghan decided that it would be a lot easier and more lucrative to be a clothes horse than save the world. But it seems to have backfired, notes the insider. And the insider says that the bombshell grifters attack was no surprise to the palace. Staffers called them entitled, delusional, rude, lazy, and afraid of hard work. Doesn't look like much has changed. They continue to live in a fairy tale fantasy. They thought rehashing their woe is us victim story was their road to financial freedom, but it's failed spectacularly. So what exactly do they have left? Now, losing that deal with Spotify is going to cost Meghan and Harry an amazing $10 million, according to industry insiders. Now they've got to figure out new ways to finance their lavish lifestyle. It includes a $14.5 million Montecito McMansion, security that costs around $2 million a year. Let's not forget Meghan's clothes bills, staffing, and travel, including private jets. They're also spending quite a lot of money on Harry's lawsuits in the British courts. Harry has sued the government over security when he comes to visit, and he has also dragged reporters into court over claims that journalists hacked phones, but he admitted on the witness stand that he doesn't actually have any evidence. A palace source says the Sussexes must be frantically fishing for new suckers to keep them afloat. Meghan may be forced to revive her lifestyle blog, The Tig, which she shut down in 2017 after she landed Harry. How humiliating to fall all the way from royal duchess to desperate internet influencer. And of course, Meghan thinks that she's automatically going to become the super influencer, that she'll be on the same level as the actress Gwyneth Paltrow. Now, Gwyneth Paltrow's Goop lifestyle brand is worth $200 million. And the Kardashians, well, let's not forget them. They've got that billion-dollar empire they've got going. But the thing about it is, all of this requires some hard work. And it's very difficult for Meghan and Harry to achieve that because they are so incredibly lazy. Now, taking selfies while wearing gorgeous clothing does beat actually having to work hard for a living. But as Meghan and Harry's popularity plummets, nobody seems to be interested in the two of them. And it seems like Hollywood is finally catching on. In a shocking blast, Ozzy and Sharon Osbourne's nepo baby Kelly dissed Harry for whining, whinging, complaining. She called Harry an effing twat for his endless woe-is-me behavior. So it seems like Hollywood has finally gotten wise to the Sussexes, according to this palace source. Frankly, they say, it's about time. Honestly, if I had done as little work as the two of them, then I would have expected to be fired. And my pay has never been anything close to what theirs was. But you know what? Money cannot buy talent, it cannot buy class, it cannot buy happiness, manners. The two of them, especially that used up yacht girl, has neither of these. And as for Harry, well, his moment of fame happened when he was born, and the rest just showed him for what he is, an ugly, spoiled brat with no manners or class. I'm sure they raised Harry better than this, but obviously he doesn't care about his family at all. And just look at what he has become, such a piece of low-life garbage. Does Harry seem happy? This is supposedly his amazing life in California with the only relative they get to see being Doria. I mean, they have thrown each and every one of their family members under the bus, and they have shown time and time again that they do not care about their well-being and what damage their written and voiced words have done to their family members. Just look at how they so callously invaded the privacy of their own family, but I guess that's okay because they're going to sue everybody for their right to privacy. Just look at what Meghan wrote to her father. You know, my thinking is this: if you mail a letter and it is delivered, I'm sorry, but how is that your property? Everything with Meghan is just so contrived. If she really lives like this, then we've got to wonder how could two kids possibly survive in this white, beige, weird environment? Children are always making a mess. So either she just doesn't allow them in her space, or more likely, they're always with their nannies or their surrogate mothers in whatever rooms that are not white and beige. And they're trying to blame COVID for the fact that they weren't a smashing success in the US, and that they also blame the death of Prince Philip. I mean, what in the world is wrong with them? And they're also claiming that the Queen opted for maximum Markle brand damage by passing away without any consideration for how that would reflect on these global saviors. Yeah, I don't understand it either. So they referred to the passing of both grandparents as adversities in regards to their desperation for more fame and fortune. I'm curious if they realized how cruel, how heartless, how awful that sounds. They just need to shut their mouths and stay out of public life. But I also can understand that when the universe sends you sign after sign after sign that you need to stop what you're doing, maybe it's time to just stop. The two of them are so childish, they're like a couple of toddlers, and they cannot reflect on all these half-baked ideas, their mistaken belief that everything was just going to come easy to them, and their expectation that the world would be so amazed by how intelligent they really are. When you cannot take responsibility for your own behavior, and you cannot understand the part that you play in your own mistakes, then you're going to repeat the same mistakes over and over again. And that's exactly what we see from Meghan Markle. She just does the same nonsense time and time again. And then the two of them keep putting the blame on anybody or anything for their deserved failures. And this is going to further ensure that important sponsors are going to run for the hills when it comes to those two. They are showing the very attributes that high rollers hate, like indiscretion and refusing to take any responsibility for their behavior. Rumor has it they let Meghan keep $5 million of the Spotify deal. I cannot believe that she could churn out 12 hours of garbage and still be paid $5 million. And you, what do you think about Harry and Meghan? Please continue to discuss them with us below in the comments section. Remember to like and share my video with anybody else who would enjoy it. And don't forget to subscribe to our Kate Middleton and the Queen News YouTube channel to get more updates in the future. Thank you so much for watching, have a lovely day, and I'll be back to see you all in the next videos. And don't be afraid to click the subscribe button to get more updates in the future. Thank you so much for tuning in, have a lovely weekend, and we'll be back to see you all tomorrow.